Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So happy Saturday. Bitcoin rally, crypto rally continues as everything is going up. But is this rally real or is it a giant fake out? Let's talk about what's going on and what could drive things up or down going forward. So welcome. Let's jump right in. Take a look at that. Bitcoin is at 21,300. Remember yesterday, I was talking about how a lot of bears do not want Bitcoin to break 21,000. Bitcoin had a problem breaking through 21,000. You can see right here, right? And it did. So things are looking pretty good. The next stop will have to be, I would say, over here. That's pretty logical. Right around 22.8, which quite frankly could come at any time. When Bitcoin goes on a run, when there's a short squeeze, it could be right around the corner. I say that's not too hard. But the one after that, that will be a real test. And if we could break through that, 30K is going to be right around the corner, and that is going to be 25,000. And we had a short stint there. But if we could break through that, 25,000 hold, 30,000 is coming. And many people think that 30,000 will be here by the end of the year, including myself, right? We still very early in November, not even the first week has passed. So we still got 3 full weeks in November. We have 4 weeks or maybe 5 weeks in December. We got a good shot, and we're on our way, not only for Bitcoin, entire crypto market cap. You can see yesterday was at 1.1. Today is at 1.06. So moving higher. Things are just slowly trickling upwards. Everything is slowly trickling upwards. Doge finally on the move again. Cardano, Solana having a big day today. Polygon still having a good day today. Avalanche coming up. I mean, you'll just take a look. Cosmos been coming up a lot. Litecoin even. Chainlink. Algorand. Okay. So there's a lot of movement. This is all good news. So is this going to continue though? Well, according to Tim Draper, yes, most definitely. By mid-2023, he's expecting Bitcoin to hit $250,000. This has been something Tim Draper has said for many, many years now. Now, keep in mind, he bought, I forgot how many millions of Bitcoin when it was like around $1,000. So he's sitting pretty. But he is one of those VC guys that really believes in Bitcoin. And he sees no reason why, as the world is coming to learn and embrace and adopt blockchain and crypto and distrust in banks, all leading to massive appreciation of Bitcoin. And I gotta say, I don't disagree. Cathie Wood, also a bit more bullish. Cathie Wood is 2030, which is only 7 years if you think about it, Bitcoin being at $1 million. That's how much these guys believe in it. And I saw something today that really puts things into perspective. In terms of Bitcoin, we hear about it. Everyone thinks about Bitcoin as a way to just make money, right? Everyone's getting in Bitcoin to make money. But what about if you're trying to preserve your money? We talk about inflation, 9, 10, 12% inflation, right? But what about if you're living in a country where inflation is in hundreds of percents and it has gotten so bad that your fiat currencies is basically worthless? I just saw this headline today. There's a lot of countries around the world that we're not paying attention to. They're suffering from hyper inflation. Their dollars literally are trash now. It's getting inflated to nothing. So in Lebanon, people are turning to Bitcoin, of course, and even Tether, because their dollar is now worth 15 cents. Okay, imagine all of your savings in your bank account now dropping by 90% within a year. Basically, that's what's the equivalent of, right? So there's many people from other countries, not even trying to make millions or become millionaires with Bitcoin. They're simply using Bitcoin as a store of value, as intended to preserve their money. So you're seeing it happen all over the place, happening in Turkey, happening in Venezuela. There's many countries out there. Us in the US, UK, Europe, Australia, Canada, we're complaining about our 9, 10, 11% inflation. But imagine living in a country where you're suffering from 80, 90, 100, 1,000% inflation. Think about that, right? And where you go turn? You go turn to something that's going to preserve your wealth, and that's Bitcoin. So that's a very powerful thing if you think about that. So many people around the world, they desperately need something better. And we already have that. That's Bitcoin. So imagine when everyone turns to Bitcoin. So can this $250K or the $1 million that Cathie Wood has predicted, can it certainly come? Yes. Yes, it can. All right. Now, as for some meantime, shorter term, what can we expect? Well, Plan Bs have been pumping out a lot of these charts recently. Here's looking at Bitcoin's realized price. And you can see again, very colorful, easy to identify. Whenever Bitcoin is in a deep red and a deep blue, that usually means a bottom, and then we start coming out of there, right? So the realized price right now is actually lower than the current price. And whenever that happens, it's a very bullish signal. So right now, look at it. It's looking pretty bullish. And also, if you look at a weekly moving average, this is like a true indicator for Bitcoin on a longer scale. And whenever Bitcoin is below the 200 weekly moving average, that's usually a really, really, really good time to be buying. So these are great things right now. Also, I've shown this before, but the difference between the energy usage and basically the hash rate and difficulty of Bitcoin versus its current price is so wide. And whenever that happens, again, that indicates a bottom and good things are about to come. So we got a lot of models that's showing, hey, it's time. Bitcoin is ready to move. And on top of these things, keep in mind, we've been seeing decoupling from the US market too. Even though on Friday was very volatile, up and down, but basically this whole week has been pretty bad for U.S. markets. Bitcoin, on the other hand, continued to stay strong, and not only that, trend upwards. So it's just a matter of time. And then we go get more short squeezes too. A lot of those bears will really regret having their short positions still on Bitcoin. So these are all great things to look forward to. All right. What else is there? As for alts, there's a lot of alts that are doing good. Binance's BNB is popping up mainly because they have this partnership with Elon and with Twitter, but I do have some news about that that's not so good. But Binance has been doing pretty well recently. And here's a perspective of trading volume on Binance's US exchange, Binance.US, versus all the other exchanges. In Q2, Q3, Coinbase just recently came out, said they lost a whole bunch of money, right? Look at the growth of every single exchange, major one in the US, and then look at what Binance.US is doing. This is why. I've told you guys, Binance.US is my go-to exchange in the US. They are fantastic, and that's astronomical growth if you look at that, right? Also, what else is going on with Gala? A lot of you guys were very fearful about Gala recently because their price tanked. Supposedly there's a hack, and it turns out no. They were just moving liquidity, and their partner, P Network, also decided to do like a white hat hack on their own thing because they saw a problem, but I think it was just very, very not communicated well. Let's just put it that way, okay? So overall, they're recovering. I still think they're a great platform, but this caused a big scare. Hopefully people could get through it. And in the future, Gala and their partners do a much, much, much better job at communicating rather than scare the bejesus out of people. But there is something else that's good with Gala. And I think this is pretty big. They are coming out with a first-person shooter game called Superior, and it's actually going to launch on Steam's network. So that means you're going to have millions of gamers exposed to a blockchain-based game with in-game NFT purchases, and they may not even realize it yet. So this is what I think is going to happen down the road. Right now, all the blockchain dApps that we have are within our own ecosystem, right? Only people in the crypto ecosystem really understands, oh yeah, this is blockchain-based, okay? But people outside the world, they don't really understand, nor do they care. They just want something that's really useful or really fun in this case. So if this becomes a big hit, people won't even realize they're using a game that's running on a blockchain, a decentralized network, and they're getting involved with crypto, right? This is what I like to see, and I think in the future, there's going to be more of this. Another example of this is Audius. Audius is like a decentralized version of Spotify. Millions and millions of users are using it to listen to their favorite music, and they don't even realize that it's a blockchain project, right? So stuff like this is very encouraging. This is why we want to be in it early, because in the future, everyone's apps on their phones or on the computer, right, could be decentralized and part of Web 3.0. So good overall for Gala. Hopefully they just do better at communicating in the future. Elron transforms themselves into MultiverseX, and they're going to launch a whole bunch of stuff. So Elron, haven't talked about them that much recently, but they were doing really well in 2021. They had their own DEX come out. They had their own token launch pad. They started getting into EVM stuff. They made a lot of partnerships, but now they want to get into more, and they want to rename. I always thought Elron, it's a strange name, but people got used to it. I don't know if naming themselves to MultiverseX is, just think about it. Facebook renamed itself to Meta, okay? And it has not done anything for them. So I don't know if choosing MultiverseX is going to really help. But maybe. But they are going to come out with X Worlds, which allows you to create worlds, like a multiverse world, right? X Portal, which will be the home for your avatar. And X Fabric. And it's a blockchain model which allows people to deploy applications. So again, very catering to the multiverse. But again, it makes me wonder if it's a little bit too soon for this, because Facebook is not having any success. All right, Solana, why is it going up? Well, Solana NFTs are now live on Instagram and Facebook. So now you could display your NFTs within either one of these platforms. Now, you may be confused because recently Meta and Instagram said that they're partnering up with Polygon. So they're working on minting their own NFTs, which will be on Polygon. This is just displaying Solana NFTs within Instagram and Facebook. So it's a little bit different. You can't mint on Solana. You can only display. But however, people really like this. And, I think this has something to do with their price movement today. Also, if you buy one of their phones, you can get a 30-day subscription to Helium, which Helium, of course, is a decentralized network carrier. Pretty much at this point, they're really yes and no, because they are a network carrier. They partner up with T-Mobile. They're providing 5G service, but also they provide low bandwidth Wi-Fi or mesh network. So there's that too. If you happen to get a Solana phone, I haven't heard anyone get one, so I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Also, Axie Infinity went up today. No, not a whole lot of people asking about it, but there's this special contest, so this is causing them to go up a bit. In case you are a player, you may want to look at it. And Algorand went up because I think FIFA is about to start. So I don't have any articles about that, but they do have a big FIFA partnership. They're official blockchain provider, official wallet provider, NFT provider. So there's a big partnership with FIFA and Algorand. So that's also coming up in the near future. But overall, guys, things are looking good today. Oh, I forgot to talk about the Elon stuff because a lot of you guys may be interested because of Doge and you may be a Tesla holder too. But Twitter did lay off, or Elon did lay off massive amount of people. And you can't tell because there are a lot of people on Twitter and TikTok making troll videos pretending like they were laid off. You don't really know. I'm sure there are a lot of legitimate ones. But Elon is claiming that freedom of speech is being attacked because he believes a lot of activists are pressuring major brands to stop advertising on Twitter. Okay? So, because of it, he is now saying Twitter is losing $4 million a day. But he did clarify that anyone that was exited was offered 3 months of service, which is severance, which is more than 50% legally required, because there's also a lot of lawyers coming out and saying, no, Elon can't do that, can't do mass layoffs in California, right? A lot of lawyers, you know, the ambulance chasers, I like to call them, are trying to like get on this and start some class action lawsuit, right? But he did offer them 3 months of severance. But here's the thing. He's losing $4 million a day right now. That's not good. And Jack Dorsey even came out and said, I apologize. He's taking blame for this, saying that he grew the Twitter company too quickly. So he takes some blame for that. But what does this mean for Doge? Right now, we have not heard anything about Doge. Elon did not even sprinkle any notion that Doge is going to be integrated. But I'm still thinking he is working on something, especially with Binance. We got that Binance connection. I think there may be some integration with Binance, the wallet, trading, right? And getting Doge involved somehow. But right now, it does seem like Elon is having a whole bunch of problems right now with Twitter. But hopefully he can solve it. A lot of Tesla guys also not very happy about this acquisition. Tesla stock has not been doing well. All right. Okay. Outside of that, let's do some Q&A. Sorry, again, I'm always in mute. I pressed the unmute thing and it just doesn't work. Sorry, I've been answering questions. Someone's saying CRO is going to be the next Binance. I don't know about that. They're far off. Maybe FTX is the way they're trying to acquire everyone, but I don't know. Binance is just so far ahead. Someone else was saying Doge will be the people's currency rather than ADA or Ripple. That's what Elon is trying to do. Everyone keeps saying, I talked about this, everyone keeps saying Solana, Google. Let's see. That didn't do anything. I talked about it. What's this Solana Google thing? Am I being trolled by the Solana guys or something? There's no Solana Google. The helium? I already talked about that. There's nothing with Google. What are you guys talking about? I covered a phone news with helium. That has nothing to do with Google. What am I missing here? Or am I just being trolled by some Solana guys? Darren asked about Illuvium. Well, they're very, 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 very far off from their previous high. So, you know, I'm clinging on hope they could come out with their metaverse and things will be well again. They're one of the more promising projects that I looked at in 2021. So I'm hoping they can come back. Okay, now I'm starting to get caught up. Sorry, usually when I scroll up, I'm like way up there. All right, BG says muted. Thank you, appreciate that warning. Twitter with Elon will be fine, according to Dan. Think about it, Tesla. How everyone thought it'd go down, and yet it's still here stronger ever. Well, I'm hoping. Elon does have a good track record, but I'm hoping that near term, it's not going to bring more chaos. Brent asks, holding a bunch of dead projects, should I hold or dump ENJ, AMP, ICP, and what's FLL? I don't know what that is. You know what? AMP, I don't know anymore because SEC declared them as security. Whether or not they are security, because the SEC has put that target on them, that's tough. I've never liked ICP. I don't know what FLL is, or you mean Filecoin. I've never been a fan of Filecoin. I've always said I like Arweave better, and recently they pumped up because Meta decided to store all their NFTs on Arweave. And Engine I still think has a chance. It's just that they've been really, really quiet. You don't hear anything about their new chain. I'm hoping that we do hear more about Engine. Wall. Okay, got it. Any updates on Cadena? Love the chain of market cap. I haven't heard anything recently about Cadena. So I still like the project. I still like the technology. Just don't know what's going on recently with them. Haven't heard any big developments or anything like that. Dan, just remember with Twitter, always do the inverse Kramer. Remember Bear Stearns. Google Cloud tweeted a founder today is sus. You know, here's the thing about Google Cloud. Google Cloud has partnered with many projects. And I don't know if they're worth even mentioning, because when Google Cloud partners with a project, all they do is basically saying, okay, yeah, you can now spin up a node from this project. That's it. Like, it's not like Google's investing in these projects. Google themselves really don't care. They're just trying to sell their cloud, their hosting. So a lot of projects have partnered up with Google Cloud. I don't see that being a big thing. It's just if you want to run a node, you can do so. You could deploy a node on Google Cloud very easily, but that's about the extent of the partnership. You know, so if the same thing, if they're going to allow you to run a Solana node or something, sure, we'll take it, but I don't think it's the biggest thing. Elon posted a shirt of a Shiba dog with a Shiba dog t-shirt of the logo of Twitter. Yeah, that's old. That's been like weeks, right? No, not weeks. A week, which seems like weeks. Nexo, I have no thoughts. I would just say be careful about them because they are the only centralized lending company left, really. They're not allowed to give interest anymore, at least in the U.S. But out of all the ones, they're the last one standing. Okay, so Oleg, member for 14 months, thank you, just said the same thing what I just said. Basically, you could launch a Solana node in the cloud. Big whoop. Big whoop. Solana Cloud already did that. I can't even remember, but I cover at least 3 or 4 projects that they are working with doing the exact same thing. And here's the thing. I'm not trying to diss on Google Cloud getting involved with crypto. Of course, Google getting involved is a good thing. But, you know, if you're running a decentralized network, right, one with many nodes spread across the world, you don't want to see where a majority of those nodes are now on a centralized storage or centralized hosting, right? Because let's say you have, I'm not trying to pick on Solana, but let's just say Solana or even like, I don't know, let's just say Avalanche or something like that, or Polygon. Let's say more than 50% of nodes is residing within Google Cloud or Amazon AWS or Microsoft Azure, right? Then is it really decentralized when more than 50% is on a centralized host? Probably not, right? Because if they shut off everything, well, then you lose 50% of the network. So that's also something to keep in mind. I'm not saying we're there yet, but we just got to be careful about that, right? Any thoughts on Binance Bluebird Index? No. I mean, it's the reason why Mass Network went up and everyone's going ape crazy about Mass, but whether or not it holds any value, I don't know. They just basically, the only one that they just basically put themselves, Doge, and then put Mass in there. So that's why they caused Mass to like shot up by hundreds %. Dan, I heard a recent exploit done on them where someone minted over $1 billion in Solana market. Dan, I just covered this news. It is FUD. It's miscommunication, and one of their partners basically didn't communicate what they were doing and caused a whole bunch of FUD. Lazaro, we will see. We will see whether or not that prediction comes true, but every day is looking more and more unlikely. Does my carnivore diet include fish? Yes, although strangely enough, I have not had any fish yet. But I will soon. But yeah, you could eat fish. Do you think YouTube Shorts will eventually beat TikTok? It can happen. Monetization is coming to Shorts very early in 2023, so it could be as soon as January. And plus, there's a lot of people trying to crack down on TikTok. So if TikTok eventually does get banned, then where do you go resort to, right? It's either Shorts or IG Reels. And IG Reels, I don't know. For my own social media analytics, looking at my videos on Reels, it gets views, but no subscribers, no followers. it almost makes me think that Instagram Reel views are fake. Because you post the same video on TikTok versus Shorts versus IG Reels, I'll see growth with Shorts and TikTok, but no growth with Reels. So it makes me really suspicious of the view count that I'm getting on Reels. But yeah, it could be happening. Should I hold Chili's? Hey, Chili's has been doing very well this year. They're partnered up, and they recently been doing decent because they're partnered up with a lot of soccer, aka football clubs, that will be playing in the FIFA World Cup. So that is why last 7 days they're up 31%, right? So they're doing pretty well. So Chili's has a good shot of getting some major attention, just like Algorand. Algorand is partnered up with FIFA as well, so they're coming up. But you guys know how big FIFA is. I mean, I'm not a soccer guy, so I don't watch it. But around the world, you got like billions of people watching it. So hopefully some of those eyeballs will pay attention to these projects and teams. The bull run started quietly, started in June. I guess you can make that argument. You can make that argument since the bottom. But bull runs don't really start. I mean, you have recovery after bottom. The bottom takes a while to recover from. Just like 2018, took months upon months before we got out of that 3,000 to 4,000 range, right? And we're seeing that now. Basically, it took us forever to get out of the 20K range. It's early, but if we could build upon this, get it 22, 25, 30, right? Then it's more and more likely that we have found that bottom. We'll never see it again. Phantom, I think they got a boost, obviously, because Andre Cronin came back. That brought a lot of excitement back. A lot of people like him. He's a smart DeFi guy. So Phantom can get some momentum because of it. Patriots, biggest holdings right now, my top four. I'll just give you the top four. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polygon, and Cosmos. Those are my top four, and they're pretty close. I don't know the exact number, but those are my top four. Is Kava going to be big? I mean, Kava, it's like their own L1 now. L1, DeFi focused, with a lot of interoperability because they're built within Cosmos' ecosystem, SDK. So they're a good project. Good project. What happened to DCA Wednesday? What happened, Melvin? I did it. You probably just didn't show up. I do it Wednesday night every week. So you probably missed it. Future of Filecoin. I mean, I think Filecoin will still be fine, but just nothing exciting about them for me. I think they were talking about creating their own EVM compatibility, like a layer above FileChain. I haven't heard much about that, so I don't know if they stopped that idea. I never thought that was a good idea, but who knows? Maybe they can do it. I still like Arweave better, so I've always maintained that. All right, guys. overall, things are looking good. The Bitcoin rally, crypto rally continues. It's a small one, slowish, steady. That's what we want, right? But a lot of alts are doing really well. So let's see if this continues today, tomorrow, heading into next week. We'll have more stuff to talk about, of course. But right now, it's looking good. So smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same time, 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Yes, I did talk about Google Cloud and Solana. I think way too many people are making way too big of a deal about it. But yes, I did talk about it. Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.